Good evening and thank you very much for joining us on Rwanda Television News tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a productive day. Now here's a sneak peek of our edition tonight. As Parliament approved Rwanda's 7.8 trillion Rwandan franc spending plan for the next financial year, officials revealed the difficult balancing act behind the numbers. A report by the United Nations Tourism Organization ranks Rwanda among the African countries that have emerged as attractive destinations for tourism investment between 2019 and 2024. And on the international scene, the Ministry of Trade, before we go on the international scene, the Ministry of Trade and Industry says that the newly launched Quality School in Rwanda is expected to address the shortage of skilled professionals in the industrial sector. We're glad to have your company tonight. My name is Enora Gladys. Let's kick off. On Wednesday, the afternoon at Urugwiro Village, President Paul Kagame met with Gareth Wood, chairman of the Wood Foundation, and David Noop, CEO of the Wood Foundation Africa. Their discussions focused on the foundation's long-standing partnership with Rwanda, including its investments in the tea sector, as well as the work of Kids Operating Room, the global health charity co-founded by Gareth and Nicola Wood to expand access to safe pediatric surgery. Now moving on with more news ahead, as Parliament approved Rwanda's 7.8 trillion Rwandan franc spending plan for the next financial year, officials revealed the difficult balancing act behind the numbers, deciding what to fund now, what to postpone, and what to prepare for an increasingly uncertain global environment. William Evans Mutabazi reports.
The proof of Rwanda's biggest budget to date was not the end of a process. It was the culmination of months of negotiations, competing demands, and difficult choices. Officials say even after government tabled its budget proposal, several institutions still requested additional funding. At the same time, members of parliament returned from field visits, carrying concerns raised directly by citizens. Government identified an additional 400 billion Rwandan francs, redirecting resources from some sectors to others considered more urgent, while postponing some requests to future budget revisions.
While engaging with the committee, the Honourable Minister of Finance indicated that many sectors still requested for more funding after the proposed budget. After reassessment of the requests and feedback from the Parliament, more 400 billion Rwandan francs was redirected from some sectors to others considered more urgent, while the rest will be considered during the budget revision in the future.
The population give a lot of opinions on projects that need to be done. We assured parliamentarians that all priority projects were given due consideration. Of course, we can't finish everything in 1 year. So what was possible was allocated for this year, but also you are provisioning for next year and the other year. We have a 3-year cycle.
Agriculture and livestock got an additional more than 3 billion Rwandan francs in the 2026-2027 financial year budget to be 355 billion Rwandan francs, and this sector will continue to be supported, whereby in the 2027-2028 financial year budget, this sector will receive an additional 125.5 billion Rwandan francs and more 140 billion Rwandan francs in 2028-2029 financial year budget, and it will continue to be supported and prioritized in national budgeting.
The government also says it incorporated external risks into its calculations, including potential impacts of tensions in the Gulf region that could affect fuel prices, transport costs, and agricultural inputs.
Parliamentarians had 3 categories of questions. First of all, they wanted to understand in details what we had provisioned for in the budget. 2, they wanted to make sure that we had given sufficient consideration of the effect of the Gulf War crisis, especially given the implications that were expected, for example, in the agriculture sector, because of fertilizers, also on transport, because of fuel. So we assured the parliamentarians that that was given due consideration. Then finally, they had questions on projects. From their field visits, the population give a lot of opinions on projects that need to be done. We assured parliamentarians that all priority projects were given due consideration. Of course, we can't finish everything in 1 year. So what was possible was allocated for this year, but also you are provisioning for next year and the other year. We have a 3-year cycle of budgeting. We assured the parliamentarians that everything will be considered.
For Rwanda, the 2026-2027 budget may ultimately be remembered not for its size, but for the choices behind it. Choices about what to fund now, what to be postponed, and how to remain flexible in an increasingly unpredictable world. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
The plenary session of the Chamber of Deputies approved a law ratifying a loan agreement between the Republic of Rwanda and the International Development Association for the implementation of the Rwanda Urban Mobility Improvement Projects. Adam Squizera has the details.
Promoting environmentally friendly and efficient public transportation remains one of the priorities of the government of Rwanda. People at Nyabugogo bus terminal say that significant progress has been made in public transport services, but they believe the terminal should be upgraded to meet modern standards. On Wednesday, the plenary session of the Chamber of Deputies passed a law ratifying a financing agreement between the Republic of Rwanda and the International Development Association, consisting of a grant worth of $3.7 million and a loan amounting to $26.2 million. The Minister of State for National Treasury in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, Godfrey Kabera, explained that funding will support improvements in public transport, including modernization of Nyabugogo bus terminal and expansion of electric bus services. It will support public transportation and the development of infrastructure for pedestrians and cyclists. The project will also increase the number of electric buses used for public transport and establish systems, policies and regulations to guide institutions in adoption and management of electric vehicles. Members of Parliament who voted the law shared their views and sought clarification on how the projects will be implemented without disrupting ongoing activities in affected areas.
The project includes the rehabilitation of Nyabugogo bus terminal, which is one of the busiest transport hubs in the country. I would like to know how the government plans to support its users during the construction period and whether measures have been put in place to ensure that the renovation works do not disrupt the movement of passengers and businesses operating in the area.
The Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning indicated that projects will begin in the city of Kigali before being expanded to other urban centers across the country. The Nyabugogo bus terminal will be renovated in a way that allows other activities to continue without interruption. All operations will be carried out simultaneously so that the project does not disrupt travel between Kigali and other provinces. Following the approval of the law ratifying the loan agreement, implementation of the project is expected to start during the next fiscal year.
Now moving on with more news ahead, a report by the United Nations Tourism Organization UN Tourism ranks Rwanda among the African countries that have emerged as attractive destinations for tourism investment between 2019 and 2024. We do have the details.
The report places Rwanda 11th among 17 African countries that attracted tourism-related investment during the 5-year period ending in 2024. According to UN Tourism, Rwanda attracted $213 million in investment, which was directed into 2 tourism projects. One of these projects involved investment in some of the most luxurious lodges in the Volcanoes region, which accommodated visitors attending the annual Kwitizina gorilla naming ceremony. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the Rwanda Development Board, RDB, Jean-Guy Africa, this is one of the factors that has contributed to the growth of tourism investment in the country.
Kwitizina is more than a naming ceremony. What began as a ranger's practice has evolved into a global movement. The theme of this year reminds us that wildlife protection must go hand in hand with empowering the people that live alongside of it. Tourism, anchored in conservation, continues to drive our national transformation. In 2024, the sector generated $647 million, with gorilla tourism alone contributing over $200 million.
As for the tourism sector, East Africa attracted 33 announced greenfield projects between 2019 and 2024, representing a total capital expenditure of $2.4 billion and the creation of nearly 5,300 direct jobs. Acadia National Park's funding and reporting manager says stakeholders in the tourism industry have worked hard to improve service delivery.
We have hotels, lodges in the north like Karenge Bush Camp, which has been renovated in 2024. Now it's on a standard of international travel standards, and it can accommodate up to 16 people. Magashi Peninsula and Magash Camp. Magash Camp has been here since 2019. It's a 5-star lodge managed by Wilderness, and this year they have added 6 more units, which are ultra VIP, and that is in line with our government's tourism policy, which is to have high-end tourism and, to have low volume, high value tourism as it is in our national strategy for transformation version 2. So we have also Ruzizi Tented Lodge in the south, and we have Akagera Game Lodge in the south. So 4 lodges, 2 in the south and 2 in the north, and there is more project upcoming in the next few years with the support of the government and how they shape the country's investment programs. It helps us also to receive requests of investing in the park, which is also a good thing to have, to be attractive to investors as shaped by the government.
Driven by investments in tourism, the report ranks Rwanda second only to Ethiopia among African countries that recorded economic growth rates above 7%. The services sector, including tourism, accounted for 52% of that growth. Prime Minister Dr. Justin Nsengiyumva notes that mountain gorilla tourism plays a significant role in supporting both the country's economy and the livelihoods of local communities. Other African countries highlighted in the report for their strong performance in tourism include Botswana, Ghana, Morocco, and Seychelles.
The Ministry of Trade and Industry says that the newly launched quality school in Rwanda is expected to address the shortage of skilled professionals in the industrial sector. Over the next 5 years, the institution is expected to place about 8,000 trained professionals in the job market. Adams Kwizera kicks off tonight.
The RSP Quality Academy has the capacity to admit 73 students per intake, and is also equipped with digital systems for online learning. The first intake of students is expected to begin next month, in July. The Director General of the Rwanda Standards Board, RSP, Murenzi Raymond, explained that the academy will produce about 500 quality assurance professionals annually, mainly targeting the private sector. Industry stakeholders say that the establishment of this school is highly beneficial to the country, especially in given the shortage of quality assurance experts in many industries. It is expected that within 5 years, the academy will have trained and supplied around 8,000 professionals in the field of quality assurance. The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Chantal Tuyishime, said the initiative will help to close gaps that often lead to recurring losses in the industrial sector. The academy was established through cooperation with the Korea International Cooperation Agency (KOICA), whereas it was stated that such partnerships with Rwanda will continue.
We remain, the Korea and Rwanda continue to remain a true partners and true friend and true family, like brothers and sisters like this.
The RSP Quality Academy is part of a 5-year project worth over $8 million implemented jointly by KOICA and the government of Rwanda, aimed at strengthening quality assurance across various sectors.
Now moving on with more news ahead, the ambassador of Israel to Rwanda, Her Excellency Einat Weiss, has said that greater efforts should be invested in youth-focused initiatives that help young people address challenges that could lead them to substance abuse. She made the remarks during a discussion with students at the University of Rwanda Huye campus, where students emphasized the need for more comprehensive awareness campaigns to educate young people about the dangers of drug abuse and its consequences. The ambassador noted that drug abuse continues to harm many young people, despite the fact that youth constitute the majority of Rwanda's population and represents a key national asset.
Sometimes people feel that they have burden or problem or issue. Drugs are like a plaster. They don't solve it, but they give a relief. But there are so many other ways to give a relief. A lot of them are actually embedded in the culture of Rwanda community. So if someone feels that what he feels actually is not that strange, many others feel it. You feel stressed, oh, all my friends, so you're not alone. And if you have a space to talk about it, it really elevates a lot of the mental pressure. And another level is what these students are doing as psychologists. If you go to talk with someone who is not biased and just listens to you, you feel sometimes there's a lot of relief. Another way is, of course, sports, recreation, all kind of club activities that students can do, football, basketball. There's so many ways to elevate pressure. It's not 100%, but it's much better than what drugs can give you.
According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 7 adolescents aged between 10 and 19 experiences a mental health condition. Disorders such as depression, anxiety, trauma-related conditions, and behavioral disorders are among the most common challenges affecting young people and can have significant consequences for their well-being. Research findings released by the Rwandan Biomedical Center indicate that approximately 52.5% of young people aged between 14 and 35 have tried at least one type of drug or other psychoactive substance at some point in their lives. Rwanda has set an ambitious goal of becoming a leading financial hub for investment to Africa through the Kigali International Financial Center, commonly known as the KIFC. Since its establishment, it has been working to position Rwanda as a competitive, transparent, and investor-friendly financial jurisdiction, attracting international businesses and capital while supporting the country's economic transformation. Tonight, I'm really honored to be hosting Jackson Rugambwa, who is the Senior Tax Policy Analyst from the Kigali International Financial Center. Welcome very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. To start with, please let us know and help us understand what is the Kigali International Financial Center and how does it operate?
Thank you very much. Kigali International Financial Center is a flagship government initiative that is mandated to make Rwanda a financial center of excellence in Africa. Yes. By offering a jurisdiction that is investor-friendly, that is attractive, that is also compliant to the international standards. And by doing so, you attract the investment into Rwanda in financial services, but also you mobilize capital to be invested in Africa.
Yes. What is the role of robust legal and regulatory reform framework in positioning Rwanda as a preferred financial jurisdiction for international investors seeking opportunities across Africa?
Yes. Robust legal and regulatory framework plays a critical role in ensuring a compliant jurisdiction, which is the most important factor that investors are looking at. So legal framework and regulatory mechanism that once it is put in place, it provides legal certainty, it provides a safe environment for investors to believe and trust a financial system like KIFC is providing. So we believe once Rwanda provides a progressive legal framework updated with time by time, is going to be standing out from other financial centers by offering a secure and stable investment environment.
Yes. Can you share some practical examples of how the legal reforms introduced since 2020 have directly benefited businesses or even investors operating across Rwanda?
Yes, thank you very much. As I said before, Rwanda has put in place a number of new laws and amended several ones. And in total, there are 22 laws so far since 2020 when KFC started. And these laws mainly talk about the interest of investors, especially the structuring. We address the issues of structuring. I can cite an example of MLCFT law that addresses the challenges of attracting illicit financial flows. So this anti-money laundering law it regulates inflow of capital. So it deters investors who would wish to use Kigali International Financial Center as an escape jurisdiction. So it ensures that money that is coming in is clean, is coming from the trusted sources. It's not coming from corruption. It's not coming from financing terrorism. It's not coming from all unregulated activities which are illegal. And for another law that we can cite here is, for example, partnership law. Initially, Rwanda used to have only business structures in terms of cooperation. Yes. But now we have several. We have foundation, we have partnership, we have trust. So all these structures need separate regulations. And by putting all those regulatory framework, it ensures that investors trust Rwanda as a jurisdiction, and also provides financial trust. People starting trusting in our financial system. Yes. So another component of regulatory framework is the number of DTAs that Rwanda has signed since 2020, when KFC was being formed. So we already negotiated 18 DTAs. Double taxation treaties, for the viewers, is a bilateral treaty that two countries agreed to sign after seeing that some investors are coming from one jurisdiction to the other, and by crossing the border, they leave footprints in the original country, and where they are going to have to be paying taxes where they are. And once they repatriate capital or income, then they are going to be taxed again in the resident country. So DTA, or double taxation avoidance agreement, comes in place to address those challenges. So the two countries will agree on how to tax this individual or this firm and share profits in a manner that is agreeable to both countries.
Yes, yes. It is totally possible that among our viewers tonight, we do have investors, and you just mentioned something about the DTAs, which is the double taxation avoidance agreements. Why are these DTAs important for investors?
Yeah, every investor coming from a foreign jurisdiction, coming, for example, in Rwanda, he's thinking about tax points. Tax points, we mean if you are taxed in Rwanda and you take back your income back to UK, for example, and the UK taxes you again on the same income. So these countries, if you are taxed 15% in Rwanda, are withholding tax, and UK collects 10, yes, in total you are paying 25%, and that's too much on an individual income. So UK and Rwanda will agree on how to tax this particular investor coming from UK to Rwanda, and for example, they can say if Rwanda taxes, UK exempts.
Yes.
Or they can say they share. One Rwanda taxes 10, the other one taxes the remaining 5. So double tax treaty benefits investor who is coming from offshore or coming from international jurisdiction to a local jurisdiction. So once two countries agree, but if there is no disagreement, then the investor, it means he is going to be taxed in both countries. Yes. So by having a DTA, it really benefits in terms of directly financial gains.
For a company today considering using Rwanda as its gateway into Africa, how do these tax agreements translate into real financial savings or operational advantages?
Yes, because investors, they are looking for two things when they are choosing a country. They are choosing where business is. They're also thinking about if they are taxed, which rate, which percentage does the government take from their gross profit. If the percentage is high, and if this percentage is going to be also collected from another jurisdiction, that means we have double tax incidents. And once there's multiple double tax incidents, then the investor is going, the profit margin for the investor is going to shrink. So the DTAs or double tax treaty avoidance agreement provides a framework where, for example, we have a DTA with Singapore. An investor coming from Singapore to Rwanda is going to read this convention, this treaty between these two countries, and say, okay, if I go to Rwanda, how much is it going to be on my profits? If I go back to Singapore, how much is it going to be? If there is already existing framework between two countries, it's like protecting your gains. Once you get profits, you take the profits home without any other jurisdiction taxing you on the way.
Yes. In closing, as we look ahead, what message would you like to share with our viewers tonight concerning the future of the KIFC, the Kigali International Financial Center?
Yes. The message I would love to pass, especially to Rwandese or Rwanda investors locally present, is that KIFC or Kigali International Financial Center is not here only for international investors. Some other jurisdictions have a ring fencing policy, or where you say you have a regime for local investors and you have a separate regime, which most of the case is so beneficial to the international investors. But for Rwanda, we chose to have equal treatment across the board. If you're a local investor and you meet the required standards, and you meet the regulatory framework, or you meet the regulatory requirements, then you qualify equally, like the international investor, to benefit from tax incentives, ease of doing business, all the facilities or facilitation we offer to the investors. Local investors are also catered for. That's one. We also need financial service providers, because these international financial investors, once they come into Rwanda, they are going to be investing in Africa as well as in Rwanda. But they need, corporate services. So corporate services like law firms, accounting firms, fund managers, all those are going to be procured from Rwanda. And the Rwandan community needs to be ready for these opportunities, to make sure they take advantage and reap enough, because KIFC is here to really provide opportunities for Rwandese and for the African people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Rugambwa, please allow me to thank you so much for passing by tonight.
You're welcome.
Yes, that was Jackson Rugambwa, who's the senior tax policy analyst at the Kigali International Financial Center, sharing insights about the economic transformation, and also as institutions such as the KIFC continue to contribute to the economic transformation of Rwanda. We'll be right back here. And now this brings us to the end of today's English News Bulletin. On behalf of the whole entire team, thank you so much for watching. My name is Anora Gladys. Until next time, have a good night and stay safe.